Welcome to the Shots Pod. This is the latest episode where we talk about all things Aldershot Town FC. I'm Liam Flint. Delighted that you could join us. As always, I have Howard Flint with me. My dad just sat over here. Dad, we've got a couple of special guests, a few young talents with us from the Shots.
Yeah, I feel really at home with these young talents here. We got Josh Stokes and Tyler Frost. Great to have you on, guys. How are you doing?
All good, thank you. Happy to be on here, and I'm not quite sure Frosty's young here still, but yeah.
No, yeah, I appreciate being asked. Looking forward to it. Should be a good chat and hopefully some insight.
Brilliant.
I think 24 counts as young. And yeah, Josh's face may not show that he's happy to be here, but he is actually happy to be here. So yeah, it's going to be a good chat. And boys, the reason we're here, we're at the EBB Stadium. Need to say that. Great that you've given us your time. And really, we just want to chat about the season that's obviously in play now. Hoping to get into those playoffs. Love to chat to you a bit about your relationship with the club, the manager, the development we've seen with both of you. Because, Dad, I think it's fair to say we've both been massively impressed with these two, with the team as a whole, and what we're seeing with the Shots at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, for me, standing on the terraces every week, most weeks, these two guys, I think have been fantastic in terms of the squad. It's been wonderful to see people coming through and developing. So it's really good to talk to them about how they feel the season's gone. And I know we've got some questions coming up about what they feel, how the season's going. Because from a fan's perspective, we know what we think, but it'd be great to hear what they think too.
Yeah, boys, let's start there then. Tyler, we'll kick it over to you. Did you honestly think at the start of the season that playoffs was a realistic, viable option? Or actually you guys thinking, we're actually in a much better position than we thought we'd be in?
I think a bit of both. I did genuinely say to family members and people like that, I think we've got a chance. I definitely think the squad's capable of pushing for the playoff spot. Did I think we'd be in it like we are now, or maybe just fighting for it just outside, like we could get there? Like generally now I feel like it's an achievable target, definitely right now. But I definitely said at the start of the season to family members, I think we got a chance. So it might have been a bit more hope, but it's definitely now looks like a doable possibility.
And Josh, what about you? How are you feeling at the start of the season, your first full campaign with us?
Yeah, I think for me it was a bit different to Frosty because this is all new to me and I don't really know like the level and that when I first came here. So obviously I was optimistic that the group could do well, but I wasn't too sure how we'd do. So I just came into the season and I was just looking to play really and yeah, the group's done really well, to be fair.
You were just looking to get signed by Bristol City in January, weren't you, really?
Yeah. I don't really know what to say to that.
It's fine. You don't need to justify that throwaway comment from me. I mean, Dad, we've put a lot of this success this season down to goals, our firepower. We're playing a good brand of attacking football. Would you say you've been surprised? You've been here years and years and years seeing the Shots. I know we've had some good seasons where we've got in the playoffs, we've played nice football, but did you honestly think we'd be sat here with these guys and Shots currently in the playoffs?
Honestly, no, I didn't. I was thinking we'd be mid-table because last year was really, really tough. And the year before that, and then the year before that, we were relegated, but survived because Gateshead, unfortunately, were penalised 10 points. Without that, we'd be in National League South. So I think, no, I didn't. I hope that Tommy, the gaffer, would improve things. So I think it's been a great season. And one thing I wanted to ask you both was, it's a young squad. I mean, the average age is sort of low 20s. Has there been enough experience either in the changing room or on the pitch when there have been some lows? Because it's a very young and experienced squad. And I know the gaffer at times has said, we're young, we're learning. Do you feel there's enough experience around you? Has there been?
We have a couple of really experienced players, like our captain Stuart, obviously super experienced. Maybe at times not enough. Obviously, Stu missed a big period of the season as well, which doesn't mean they don't have an involvement when they're not at the training ground, and same with AJ and people like that. But like you said, I think our average age has averaged around 23, 24 throughout the majority of the season. I'm probably in the older half of it, so Stokesy might have been right about saying maybe I'm not classed as young, but even in terms of my age, I probably was inexperienced in terms of consistent men's football minutes. I'm not afraid to say that. This season's been by far my most consistent minutes season, nearly at 40 games, which is almost double my men's tally. So, and half of them wouldn't have been starts either. So, at times maybe in the big heavy defeats that we have held, because there's been a couple and it's not nice, don't get me wrong, but we have we have turned it around usually the week or two after, gone and got 2 big results after a loss that wasn't nice, to say the least.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you one of the leaders, Josh? You're quiet, outwardly spoken, but do you get in the changing room and start smashing things about, telling people to do their jobs?
Not really, to be fair. No, I don't really feel like that's my place. But like Frosty said, we're a young group, but that brings us its good points as well. Like I think Theo and the gaffer have said when they were on there previously that we bounced back quite well. We haven't got too many scars from before. So yeah, I think that's a plus point about this group massively.
Yeah, and obviously there's always going to be pros and cons, isn't there, for having young guys like you, lots of young players, not many players over 30, which is good for the future, obviously. We have seen a little bit of a yo-yo. Dad's obviously referenced that. Occasionally we've been on the end of a thumping, be it with a red card or unfortunate. Sometimes, obviously, we just haven't played well. That's just life, isn't it? But do you feel like we have yo-yoed a bit and not had maybe a 10-game winning streak because of the inexperience? Or do you just feel like that's actually incredibly hard in the National League to do that?
Yeah, I feel like in this league, it's a highly competitive league, and it's difficult for anyone to be really consistent, and that's where you find out what the best teams are. But I feel like we've bounced back whenever we've had a bad result, so I feel like that's one of the highlights of our seasons, really. And yeah, I think we've done well. So yeah,
really well. We've not seen it as too big of an issue, have we?
If I was to add to that, I wouldn't say we're massively inconsistent. I just think when we have maybe took a big loss, it's heavier than maybe it needs to be in terms of like we've conceded a few more goals. It feels like a bigger loss than it's just one loss at the end of the day. I think there was a patch where we was incredibly consistent. I think through the October, November leading up with the cup run as well, I think we did go on a seriously long unbeaten run. We had a bit of a shaky start, but it was a brand new group. It took us a month or two to maybe gel, but then we had a really good spell, like say, through the cup run, leading up to Christmas, up to West Brom. I think apart from the Eastleigh game, we had a really, really good run. And then it is very common after an FA Cup campaign, especially to where we got to, where you have such a high. Unfortunately, it is a common theme that teams then have a little patch, and we unfortunately did probably through the end of January leading into February, but I think we've definitely, with Altrincham and Barnet at home, them 2 results, definitely picked it back up again. So I'm not going to sit here and say we are inconsistent. We're where we are in the league because we have picked up more wins than losses. So, but when we get beat, we've got to find a way of not getting thumped.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think my reflection is that there haven't been a string of defeats. I mean, currently Altrincham are, on a run of 5, and you think that's tough to get out of. It must be psychologically, but we haven't. We've lost the odd game, sometimes heavily. I was here for the File game, for example, and there are times when you just think we've just lost our rhythm, and just maybe the old heads would have helped. But I think we've come back incredibly well. And there's not many where we've lost successive games. I looked through, and there aren't many occasions where we've done that.
Not sure we have a 3 on the bounce loss this season, which, like you say, Altrincham have found themselves in that divot, in that patch where the form has hit that wall. Luckily, like we've all said, we haven't had that patch where we have gone 5 games, and that's critical really in a season. And this time of the season is not a great spell to hit that wall, but I'm sure they're a quality side. They'll probably pick themselves back up, but we've managed to find a way to not let that happen to us. And for an inexperienced side, credit to everyone, really. Credit to the staff, young people, young players in this team like Stokes, who they have had to maybe up their sort of side of, like you said, you don't really come change, but I've seen an improvement in yourself where you come and change room and you will say what you think and stuff like that. He is a leader now. At the end of the day, he's one of the most experienced players in the team this season for this campaign. So he's not coming off the bench. He's not like just playing minutes here or there. He's probably played one of the most amount of minutes in our team. So
I'll add to that. I think that's a good thing about our group. To be honest, everyone feels together and they can say things to people, and no one will take it personally. Really, it stays in the change room or on the pitch, and we move on and try to improve together.
Even with the gaffer as well, anything said in the change room there as well, it doesn't come outside. You know what I mean? And then we kick on and we go again. And then when we win together. And when we lose together.
Yeah, and I remember Theo, Dad, on recent podcast said that actually he thinks the mentality that you guys have got for how young you are. And like you said, like Josh, this is your first year at this level. And so many of you have flown and have done really well. And I think that's what's impressed us the most as fans. And I'm sure people watching and listening to this will agree that when things haven't gone particularly well in a game, it doesn't seem to knock you guys to the point where you then go on and lose 3 or 4. Even when, as you said, we can occasionally lose 4 or 5. It feels like the next game we make a statement. So yeah, are you proud of the way you seem to constantly bounce back when you need to?
Yeah, massively. I think that's a big thing with this group. Like I said previously, we all move on pretty quickly. And if we have had a bad result, we always look to put it right straight away.
I'll add to that as well. I think the support's been quite important with that as well. They haven't got on our backs. There's times where we've come in and gone, the support should have booed us off the pitch. Yeah. We'll take Bishop Stortford in our stride. We know that was not good enough at all. There wasn't one part of that game that we came in and went, we could have took something from. And we probably deserve to be booed off pitch. But I think the way the season's gone, they've gone, do you know what? It happens. It has happened. We've given probably enough memories and stuff like that this season to be like, no, it's not worth making them feel worse than we know when we played bad, do you know what I mean? And the support has definitely carried us through certain games where we've been behind here a couple of times and stuff, games like that. And the support has got us through. There's no hiding behind that, and I think they can see that as well.
Yeah. When we play at home especially, we've been really good, to be honest.
Yeah. Home form's probably the reason we are where we are. Away form, we know it's not.
100%. And it makes you feel at home pretty quickly. Like from playing here once or twice, I rapidly felt at home, which makes everyone relax. And yeah, it's just a massive part of enjoying it here at this club is the fan base, really.
Having a weekend like this, we're all super excited to have another Saturday, Tuesday at the EBB. We're all like, oh God, thank goodness we're back at home. We love playing at home. I wouldn't know exactly, but we've lost 2 or 3 games at home all season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, lost 2.
2 games all season, yeah. So we've got to back ourselves at home. It doesn't mean we take our foot off the gas at home. If anything, we put our foot firmly to the floor at home, which maybe we need to take that mentality to away from home. I think we've taken the lead away from home in a fair few games this season and haven't managed to stamp our authority for the continue it. Do you know what I mean? We start the first 20, 30 minutes like on fire. That might be a mentality thing. We haven't really been able to put a stamp on what the reason is why we take our foot off the gas. But at home, we don't seem to do that. We seem to manage to keep going for the whole game.
Yeah, what do you think that's... I mean, you just said you're not sure, but do you have any idea what that's down to? Because we do seem to start so well. And again, we mentioned this on a recent podcast. First 20 minutes, we're up for it. We normally go 1 or 2 up, which in itself is really tough to do. And that's a great mentality to be able to go away from home and to instantly quiet their crowd, get 1 or 2 up. But it feels like sometimes, I don't know if you guys notice it on the pitch at the time, or it's become a thing where, because it's happened so often, you almost think, oh, is it going to happen again? And then it does. But yeah, Josh, do you have any idea why we've gone 2-0, then 2-2, or, Kidderminster game, or even at Oxford recently? It just feels like we're never quite pulling away and killing teams off away. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's a good question, to be honest, and we'd love to know the answer to it. But I feel like we've got 10 games left, and if we can sort that out really and remain as good as we are at home away, I feel like we've got a massive chance. But I don't really know the answer to your question.
A mystery. Answers on a postcard. So
the only thing I'd give on that isn't the only solution I have to it is you say silence the crowd. Arguably, we fired the crowd. It can have the reverse role, as in I feel like we came out of Kidderminster and quieted them while we weren't in the lead. Then we got the first goal. Then once we scored the second, their crowd lifted. Could that be? It's not an excuse. It's just a reasoning behind it because it's happened here. We've gone behind here. Hartlepool crowd massively on our side for the last 10 minutes. Turned that around. Maidenhead quietened our crowd, but then they got behind us again. Turned that around. So we've had the reverse roles at home as well. So that's all I can say. Oxford maybe didn't have. We actually outnumbered the home crowd, which is absolutely amazing. And I think that's maybe why they weren't able to generate that.
Yeah.
Once they scored, it didn't feel like they generated the momentum. Whereas like Kidderminster and Southend, those sort of crowds generate more like fire for their home team, and we got to find a way to, if that does happen, to put the flame out again. And that's where we've got to find the answer to that sort of question, I think.
Just a random quick follow-up. What would you say has been the hardest away ground to visit this season. What's been most uncomfortable for you guys?
I'd say Oldham.
I was going to say something.
Why Oldham?
For me personally, being the first away game that I've had in front of like a fair few thousand people, it was difficult, and it's easy to go into your shell in those games. But I feel like especially was a massive learning curve for me. I think you'd probably agree, Frosty.
Yeah, I think that was their first home game of the season as well. So a large crowd, they were fully behind the team, and we just couldn't. I think the first 20 minutes of that game, we couldn't work them out. We kind of got stuck in our system and their system. We went at half-time thinking only a 2-0 down, which seemed devastating. But we actually came out second half and cracked it, got a goal. And I generally come back after we scored to laughing. I'm like, come on, boy, we can win this game. Yeah. Unfortunately, we did get a red card shortly after that. And then they went bang, bang, bang. And that was the crowd again. We quietened them, going 2-1. We fueled their fire again with the red card. Obviously, that gets everyone off their seat, and then they can punish you. And obviously, we've got to be careful of that this weekend because they're fully experienced. But yeah, this season, that and probably Southend the other week, once that second half, they lifted again. That it just felt like, and it all felt like it just went against us second half, when I thought, although they dominated maybe majority of the first half possession-wise, we were in control. We had the better chances. Could have been 2-3-0 up, arguably, and they didn't have a clear-cut chance. But that's it. Grounds like that get really tough once they get on the front foot.
Yeah. I mean, just skipping back a couple of questions, I reflect that in years gone by, when Shots were struggling at home, the crowd would often, I would say, turn on the team, but they'd be disappointed, and therefore it would be negative. What I've noticed this year is that you've had such a creative style of play, and it's been so exciting that actually I was at Maidenhead, 2-0 down after 20 minutes, or went bang bang. All around me, anyway, the guys I know, we can do this. Yeah. We can do this. There's a belief that even if we're down, and I think that's a seismic change this year, because in previous years it was like, oh, here we go again. So I think you've done a remarkable thing in terms of relationship with the crowd.
Yeah, I feel like since I don't know what it was like previously, but since I've been here, the bond that we've had with the crowd or the fans has been amazing, to be honest. And it's, like Frosty said, it's kicked us on massively in games. Even at Bromley away on a Tuesday night, when we was 2-0 down, they stuck with us, and we obviously managed to get the winner right at the end. And there's important wins like that build the bond massively.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously I can give a little bit of an insight of last season. It's football, isn't it? Like, fans want to see their team winning. I'm a football fan as well. When my team's not winning, I'm not happy. So obviously it's not easy to get behind a team that is, you think, might get relegated. And there were times last season, when you're in front of goal, or like you do feel the situation, everything seems to slow down, and you think, miss this and you're out of the cup. Like, so last season I missed 2 chances against Halifax in the quarter-final, and I felt that for a long time. And I know the crowd sort of, you can hear all the oohs and ahs, and it's like, oh, another disappointment. But it's tough. It is really tough, but you've got to give the fans something to fight for and be happy about. And I think they believe this year, 1-2-3-0 down, there's always a possibility this side's going to come back. And it's not only the fans that think that, we generally believe that as well. And that's a really good mindset.
I remember when Frosty, I know we lost to Eastleigh at home. What was the score? 5-3?
5-3.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
5-0 down, I think it was.
5-0 down, and we got it back to 5-2 or 5-3. And I was standing next to Frosty for the kickoff, and he said, "We can actually win this." And there was like 10 minutes to go, and I was thinking, "Yeah, we can." Like, crazy.
Yeah, I think I came off at 5-1 or 5-2, so not great. But yeah, I was on the sideline acting like Cristiano Ronaldo in the Euros. Got it back to 5-3, and I was like, Stokesy, he turned it on in the 20 minutes in that second half. Everyone did.
Yeah, you did.
And I was standing up going, come on, boys, like, we can generally get this back and get a point out of this game. What a comeback. These fans would absolutely buzz off it. And we were still close. We had chances to go 5-4 and 5-all. So, no, there's a belief we can get it back, whatever the score is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gaffer, in our interview with the gaffer, said that he's looked that game back several times, and it could have been, I think he said 8-5, and I think there were towards the last 20 minutes. I think we had maybe 3-4. Yeah, it was an amazing game, and all that I can certainly say, in the ground there was belief. There was belief that we could have got back. Certainly a draw, that was possible.
And as amazing as it could have been at the end, we conceded 5 goals, so we didn't come in ecstatic going, we threw that one away. We didn't throw that one away. We gave ourselves a chance to get back in it, but we shouldn't have to. 3 goals should win you a game, and the gaffer would have said that to us probably in the change room afterwards. We shouldn't have to score 4 or 5 to win a game of football or even get a point. So as like everyone left probably going, oh my God, what an epic game that could have been, what a result that could have been. For us, it's a bittersweet. Like we could have got something out of it, but we should never have got in that situation to start with. So yeah.
So it's a really exciting squad from our perspective as fans. What's it like to play in this squad this year? You know, young players, hungry players. You've bounced back, haven't gone on a long run of defeats. Crowd are with you. What's it like? And obviously you were here last year, Frosty, so you can compare. We don't want to down anybody last year, but what's it like now?
Obviously, this guy was involved in a promoted team. Did you get promoted last season? Yeah, like me personally, I've never been in a team that has been fighting this end of the table. I've always been either just surviving out of relegation or mid-table, kind of nothing to play for. It's exciting. It's really good. Like every player wants to be in this position in the table, and I don't think it was down to anybody last season. We had quality players last season that aren't here this season. Yeah. But for whatever reason, didn't suit the system we're playing this season. Maybe weren't going to work with the gaffer. That's decisions beyond me that have to be made. We've got a squad now that works in this system well, and it's the group together, isn't it? You know, players that have come in that maybe we didn't expect to be flying as much as they have really kicked on, and well, there's multiple. Even myself, probably people didn't expect me to have the season I'm having. I probably didn't expect to be playing in a team doing so well. I'm doing so well myself, but everyone sticking together, everyone following the orders as such, is making everyone improve and do well. So yeah, it's really good.
I think the big one for me is everyone enjoys playing, don't they? Everyone enjoys coming to the training ground. Everyone enjoys playing in front of the fans. And when you enjoy playing, it's like night and day. Than when you're not enjoying it, it's massively. And everyone's confident. Everyone backs each other. And whilst that continues, I think
it goes down to the strong squad as well. We've had big players out with long injuries. I think almost everyone in the team this season has had to miss a game for whatever reason. I think Ollie Hartford's our only player to have played every minute. And when someone has stepped out, 95% of the time, the person that has come in has made it hard for the player coming back to step back in. For me, example, like I missed 2 games. Tommy Willard come in and he was firing in those games that he played in. So probably sat 2-3 games out longer than I expected to. And that's a sign of a really strong squad, and that if you want to be in the playoffs, you need a squad. And we've kept improving. We've brought players in even in the last 2-3 weeks that hopefully are making a difference to the team. Recalled Haddy because he's been firing, so that worked out well. And if he comes back here and can add to us, the more the merrier.
Then happy days. Yeah. And I think, Dad, we've spoken a lot about the ebb and flow of games. Josh, you just talked about the 5-3 there with Eastleigh. Do you guys, like fans, enjoy those kind of games? Obviously, when they go away, do you guys actually enjoy, the 4-2s, the 4-3s, which feels like we're getting a lot of those crazy games with the way we're playing? Or are you guys actually crying out for a bit of a 1-0 grind, pinch it at the end 2-1? Do you love the fact that it's like basketball because the fans do? Or are you guys actually thinking, I wish we could just shut up shop for a bit?
I'd love a better sleep on a Tuesday night, to be fair. It's enjoyable as long as we're on the winning side. But yeah, we obviously, our aim is to control the games 2-3-0, but it never works out like that, really. But yeah, I'd say we enjoy it, to be honest.
Yeah, the celebration at Bromley away was ecstatic, but I think the game I've celebrated the most this season, genuinely, was Barnet here, 1-0 win. Genuinely, I was like, this week, 2-0 and a 1-0. The perfect week, honestly, the perfect week. We performed perfect, I think, in both games. 2 clean sheets within a week. Stadium was buzzing. For me, that was the best win of the season, league-wise, just purely of what it meant to us as a squad. We needed 2 games on the bounce with 2 clean sheets, a bit more solid, but also still look good going the other way. But obviously, a late winner, nothing beats it. Hartlepool, 2 goals in a minute.
That was so good.
They're not ones I think the gaffer would want. Not at all, but they are great, aren't they? The celebrations are obviously great. You feel like you've turned it around, but for me, the Barnet 1-0 win is the best league win this season.
Yeah, feel free to keep going and providing us with those last-minute deflections off your backside or deflections off your stomach, whatever's going in.
Lawrence scored one late on Halifax.
Lawrence scored at home,
that was a perfect win as well. 1-0.
Just as a point of order, is Kwame actually claiming that one that hit his backside off from you?
He's a striker, of course he's claiming it. No, I'll take the assist, I don't mind. As long as I get credited with the assist, it's fine. yeah, of course he's a striker, and I don't blame him. I celebrated it like I scored it myself, so I really couldn't. Like I said, I really wasn't fussed that it hit him. To be honest, take the stat.
Fair enough. Yeah. And what would a good season be this year for you two?
Frosty, do you want to start?
You want me to go first? I think now, looking at it right now, I know manager would say don't look at the table and stuff. Of course, we do. I think a playoff spot is definitely within our grabs. I think as a squad, we should arguably be now disappointed if we don't finish there. It's not saying it's going to happen. There's still a lot of football to be played, some tough teams we still got to play. But I think personally we should be really striving now to think we can get a playoff spot. I think if I said anything different, it would be like what you want about. So yeah, for me to play in a playoff, that would be a quality season, and then who knows if we get in the playoffs. Honestly, in this league, it's anyone's game once you hit a playoff spot. So that would be the number one goal. That would be an exceptional season. I think I think at the start of the season we were third or fourth favourites to be relegated. So yeah. I think we've probably the biggest overachievers in the league this season. But we deserve to be where we are. We've not done it off luck. No. We're there off merit, and no reason why we can't finish in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's so important to remember that actually this is it can become very quickly. Well, we're in that position, so we should get playoffs, and we'll be devastated if we don't. But like you said, you've got to keep it in perspective. That we are overachieving at the minute. I think most people would say. At the start of the season, we'd have probably said top half, wouldn't we, Dad? So always got to keep in perspective. It's good at the moment, but we can't all of a sudden say you guys should be third and you guys should be challenging for automatic. You know, why couldn't you do what Chesterfield did? Yeah. You've just had a great season and playoffs is a great return.
Yeah. I wouldn't say we're overachieving, to be fair. I feel like we deserve to be where we are. Yeah. But obviously, if you look from at the start of the season, there's a lot of players brought in that people didn't know anything about, but I feel like everyone's proved that they can play at this level, and yeah, like Frosty said, I feel like we need to push on these 10 games, and we can definitely get in the playoffs, but we need to obviously take it step by step,
game by game, head down. I think obviously being here last season, when I said it as earlier on that I thought we could have got playoffs, that was probably mid pre-season. If I was being realistic before I came in first day of pre-season, I'd have took just not fighting in a relegation scrap. Gaffer's reiterated it to us plenty of times. We've already just surpassed our total of last season. That in itself, with 10 games to go, is a huge achievement. Yeah. I think people know probably the club's situation. I still think slightly we are overachieving. But we deserve to be overachieving. It's not overachieving off luck. It's overachieving off merit. That's what I want to reiterate. But we deserve to be there at the same time.
Yeah. I suppose when you say overachieve, you don't think we are. I suppose you mean because you know the quality of player we've got. Yeah. So for you, you're not surprised. Yeah. I think, but you're right, from the start of the season where we didn't know half of the squad, this is an overachievement. But obviously you guys see the training, the work, the results. So you're not surprised. You know how good you guys are. So I think, we're all starting to realise we've actually got a really good squad here that would be great to keep together. It would have been great if you weren't going off to Bristol, Josh. Bit of a selfish move there, mate. But I think, we're all very excited, aren't we, Dad, for just next season, building on this, keep the core together, and we can go again regardless of what happens this season.
Yeah, I mean, I got in hot water by saying what I thought Tommy thought, which is always dangerous, of course. But I think, and I'll repeat it here, but I think the gaffer would have thought mid-table this year would be success because of what happened the last 5 years. But actually, I think now he'd be looking like you guys and saying we've done enough, so far to be where we are, which is deserved. And if we can do something in these next 10, 2 points a game, the next 10 games, you'll be in there. You'll be there. And so next year it suddenly comes into flow. Could we build on this and actually look to get promoted next year in that top spot or something?
That's the thing with next year. There's going to be an expectation. There'll be more pressure next season, of course, and credit to this guy for getting his move. Do you know what I mean? We're all proud of him as a team. I think all the fans should be super proud as well that they've got a player come in and supported him like they have and pushed him on as well. I think the crowd have been a massive support to Josh. I think we would say that. And next season will come an expectation, but it's one that we have to relish in. Hopefully we can replace Stokesy and see where it goes. But the main focus now is just hopefully he can get us promoted this year.
Yeah.
That's the plan, mate.
He needs to before he leaves. Otherwise he won't be leaving. That's the thing. I mean, I talk to lots of fans and fans around me where I stand, and they're incredibly supportive of you, Josh, in the sense of there's absolutely nothing I've heard of. Oh, he's off chasing this. That. Josh has been fantastic for us. We wish him well. So it would be wonderful to get to that place where we're in the playoffs and you sign off, with a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I feel incredibly grateful, to be fair, to the fans, because when I sort of heard that I might be on the move, I wasn't sure how they'd sort of take it and things like that. But they've been nothing but supportive. So I can only say thank you for that, really.
Well, and we want to thank you, because 16 goals is pretty. It's 16.
16, yeah.
It's pretty good.
18 now, actually.
It's 18?
18.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've been starting to score again. We're a bit worried about you, because since the move was announced, he stopped scoring. We're like, oh, hello, is he left already? But you're still going.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Whereas you're actually scoring goals, Josh. Whereas, of course, Frosty's having to have assists off other people's backsides. But you'll get there. You'll get there, Tyler.
I see myself as more of an attacking entity myself, and I've been having to sit in that deeper role this season. I've generally said, like, I've been so envious and jealous of that front three. Gaffers like to me, I need you to just be disciplined today. Them three will win us the game. And I'm like, I just want to get involved myself.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a hard watch, but no, at the end of the day, I'd do it all over again to watch these three have been our front three, and even the subs that come on up top have been absolutely incredible for us, and we just have to put a platform behind them to allow them to go and do that. And I'd arguably say, since I've gone at wing back, I've been able to be a little bit more free, a little bit more like, can make the back post, I'll get in the box, put a cross in or two. Maybe in the system it's helped. I can play a bit of both, but no.
Accidental assist.
or a robbed goal, depending on how you want to look at it.
Whichever way you look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler, let's talk about your development a little bit then. Let's move on to that. So we'll talk about the gaffer, but you starting in that wing back position, which I think I'm right in saying naturally you're more central. We've seen you kind of midfield, wing. Was that something that was an easy sell for you? Was that something Tommy was like, I need you to do this? Or were you thinking, I'd love to, adapt to a new position slightly?
It's a weird question. I still probably don't know my best position. I have a good game somewhere, then I go somewhere else and may have a good game there, then go somewhere else and may play terrible. But then I can play the same position next week and do okay. It's always been a strength of mine to be able to play multiple positions. I think my first 5 games for Aldershot went right back against tough opposition, and everyone at the club were like, oh, you're a quality right back. I went, I am not a right back. Don't put me in that category. I was like, I think I played against Coldclough, against Chesterfield, and had an all right game to be fair. I was hearing he was like one of the best wingers in the league when I just signed. I was like, oh, got a bit nervous, but no, I'm not a right back. That's one position I won't put my hand up to. And then I think I played wing back after that and scored at Southend, hit a big goal there and stuff, and had a couple good games out there. And then when the gaffer come in, he asked us to put where our best position was, and I was kind of like, don't really know. So I put wing back, but really I'd say attacking midfield, but this guy stole that spot at the start of the season. So no, it's a quality that I like to have, but I've always thought it's slightly hindered me because I've never played one position. But now I'm growing up, more maybe mature in the football sense. It gets you more games, and it's also a good, I think, management staff like having players like myself, even Glover as well, who kind of put you in 3-4 positions and know you're going to get the best out of that player regardless what position you play in.
Yeah, you're like a new James Milner, like that versatility,
Someone
just
call me that already.
plays absolutely everywhere and just gets on with it. And I think that should be commended to you though, like your attitude in doing that. Which is why I wanted to ask you whether it was your idea or not, because you've made it your own. Yeah. You've still impacted the game from right wing back when I'm sure you'd see yourself further up. So I think that is really important.
It's a team game as well, isn't it? Like I've kind of had to do a role there because unfortunately AJ and then Scotty both got injured, so kind of got forced into it. But it's not something I got forced into and gone, oh, I hate it here. I've actually rather enjoyed it, which I hope the gaffer don't see I said that, but no, it's been good. So and I've taken to it quite well in the system that we play. It allows me to maybe be a little bit more free. So no, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Just an aside, are you actually the most shouted at player?
I'm not going to comment on that. I'll say I'm definitely up there. Maybe because he believes I can take it. It could go either way. It's that to fire other people up and stuff like that. But nah, it's shared about.
Evenly shared. That's good to know.
Yeah, evenly shared.
That's what we like. What's the gaffer been saying to you both in terms of your development? The key message he's been getting through to you, Josh. What's he been saying to you? What's he been wanting from you, pulling out of you, working on the most this season?
He wants me to start heading the ball, which I need to get better at. To be fair, in all seriousness, that's probably the main bit on the pitch. He's taught me a few lessons for sure in the last week or so about mentality and things like that. But yeah, he's been a really good coach for me at my point in the career for sure.
Have you scored a header this season?
I scored an offside one against Swindon, but it was onside.
So the answer's no then.
Well, the answer is no, but I did score against Swindon with a header.
So Tommy knows what he's talking about. Basically, that's
that's true. I asked him actually when he came and watched me against Sudbury, what did he write down on his notes for what I needed to improve on, and his first one was heading. So he's right.
Scores enough with his feet. It doesn't have to come. It's on the floor game.
I tell him the head's for what we use for thinking. So
yeah, protect it, don't damage it. Yeah. What about you, Tyler? What's the gaffer been saying this season?
It depends where I play, really. It's about being controlled in midfield, not getting ahead of myself in sense of like moving too much, keeping in a solid shape, which is definitely I've had to improve on from the start of the season. He likes a very good structured midfield. Whereas maybe where I played before in midfield, I was allowed to roam, kind of drift into positions and stuff.
See him bombing past me a couple of times. I'm thinking, where's he off to?
But no, and then at wing back, he wants me to stay a bit wider, tactical, things like that. But as a whole, it's just sort of like enjoy playing your football. Really, you're playing. He goes on about how he's giving me the big chance and stuff like that, which he has. I have to be grateful for the opportunity I've been given this season because I think all players, young players especially, they just want a run of games to show what they're about. It is sometimes hard where you're in one game, you're then not playing the next game, you come on for 10 minutes, then you might not be in the squad for a few games, play again, get injured. It's all a bit of that. And this season, credit to the staff for giving me the opportunity to play week in, week out.
Yeah, I think you've deserved it, Frosty. That's my opinion, for what it's worth.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. No.
So what's Tommy like as a manager then? He feels like really good professional, speaks to the media very well, keeps things private, talks to you guys about the things that matter, doesn't overshare with the media and people like that. Is he an intense character? Is he someone who will actually kind of get behind you guys, tell you like it is? Is he quite soft? How is he with you in the good times and the bad, like individually and as a collective?
I think he gets the best out of us at the most important times, I'd probably say.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think he's quite an intense character, as people can probably see on a Saturday. He knows what he wants from each of us, and if he feels like we're not up to that, then he'll let us know. Which, as players, I feel like we respect, and everything he says to us, we take on board and try to improve. Really.
Yeah, you've got to respect someone. He lives, breathes, sleeps football. He's had a very good career in the game, whether it be player or now manager. He's been all sorts of roles at different clubs. He knows a football club inside out. And the management side of things, I think he literally does bang on about, like, I'm able to play in the multiple roles that I can because I do know exactly when I go into a certain position what he wants from me, whereas elsewhere when maybe I've switched, I'm kind of like not really sure what this manager expects from me in this position, whereas he tells me if I'm not doing what he wants from me out in certain positions, which is great because as long as the reason why we're doing so well is because we're all aligned.
Yeah.
I know where Stokes is going to run. I know where Lawrence is going to run. Well, they're just thought ahead of me. The players I know ahead of me. So, yeah, he is intense, but he can have his. He's positive to all of us. He believes in all of us for sure. You can see on a Saturday he is intense, but that's just because he's passionate about the game. So are we. Obviously, we don't want to lose either. So it's all for the team. Yeah, it's all to go in the right direction. It's not just they're doing it wrong. Let's have a shout. Sometimes we can be doing it right, and he's perfectionist.
Still shouts.
Yeah, he's perfectionist. I think that's just also keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Make sure we don't switch off for a minute because maybe at times we have had a tendency to switch off.
Yeah, he's a bit of a legend, isn't he, Dad? And the way he speaks comes across really well.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed talking to the gaffer, and he was very, very honest and very generous with us, in terms of his time. But we also appreciated that he kept things in house. We weren't asking difficult questions, but we also weren't wanting to just be anodyne about things. We wanted to try and let the fans see what's happening, because it is such an exciting season. So yeah, we've great respect for Tommy, and obviously I've been around many decades, and Tommy's definitely changed the culture of the club massively, and you'll know just from last year.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. The big thing I could say for you, when he first come through the door, I have all the respect for Ross, who brought me into the club, and I really like him as a character person. I thought he had good ideas. But the gaffer now just seemed to have more of a professionalism on, like, this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to stay up, which he made big calls last season. I think a lot of people could see the big decisions, and they worked. You know what I mean? We went unbeaten under him for the last 6-7 games that he was in the door. So credit where credit's due in that sense. I thought he came in and did make a real difference, and ultimately kept us up. And that was part of my optimism going into this season, thinking, yeah, he knows what he's on about. And even when he does know what he's on about. That's what you say to us. So no, fair play. I think he's done this club's transformed in the last year since he's come through the door, and credit to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad, we can't finish the podcast without acknowledging, Josh is getting his nice move off to Bristol City. I suppose we better talk about it.
Do we have to? Must we?
I suppose we must. I mean, yeah, Josh, we've already said massive congratulations to you. Yeah, well earned, well deserved. And just on that subject of Tommy, really, you must be really appreciative of him, right? In that he took a gamble on you to bring you here. I know he's been watching, scouting you, and for you to go from this level up 3 more levels in such a short space of time, and he's made that move possible. He wanted it a good move for the club. He said that he wanted it on his terms, but also for your development. That must feel like he's giving you a real hand there, real insight, made you a better player, and now you're going to get the rewards for that.
Yeah, obviously, I'm very grateful to him for bringing me here and then letting me leave after this season. I feel like obviously he has to look after the club in a sense, but also he's looked after me brilliantly, and I feel like he's allowed me to move to a brilliant club. And I said to Frosty when I came in, when we literally drove up here, I said when I came here, I said, wow, look at the stadium from where I was at Sudbury, and now I've moved on again. So it's been so fast, but I've enjoyed every second of this season, to be honest, and very thankful to everyone that's given me the opportunities here, and all my teammates for allowing me to flourish, really.
Yeah, we were saying the way he's come up. I think it's a really good way to come up. The way I'm looking at it, obviously we've done reverse roles. I've gone from sort of the level that he's going to and dropped down. Didn't make play at that level, but I commend the way he's come through the system. I actually think arguably that's the correct way to do it, and I'm so pleased for him. Honestly, saying it's nice when he's going to a club and really appreciating it, rather than maybe some people going backwards and not really appreciating it. He's loved every move he's had, every minute he's had. He's appreciated it all, and he's kind of in awe still. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Of every step, and I think that's such a awesome direction to go in.
Yeah, but it also feels, I know what you're saying there, Tyler, but I think there is also merit, isn't there, in knowing, okay, I need to drop here to then go back up again. So I know obviously for you, you've said, you started up, then you played Crawley, you've done Harrogate, so we're talking League Two, and now you're here. But I think you look at someone like Laurent as well. He's obviously come down, he wants to go back up. So yeah, there's merit in both, isn't there? In that you've got ambitions, and that experience you had playing at a higher level is great.
I've got ambitions, obviously, my ambition is to take Aldershot to the next level.
There we go. That's the answer. We told him to say that.
No, ding, ding.
No, genuinely, I think I said it after Altrincham and Barnet to the management staff, just in a comment. I was like, generally, would love to take this club to the next level. Not me take it to the next level. Us as a group. I'm a local boy, so that would be excellent. It really would be special, and I really hope there's a possibility it could happen.
Yeah, I would say on Frosty, sometimes it's hard to drop from where you are to drop down. Maybe it's a bit of an ego thing for some people, but if you do it and do well, there's no reason why you can't then rise again.
Yeah, Laurent, credit, isn't it? Didn't play as much as he probably would have wanted to elsewhere. He's come here and he's been a star for us this season. We wouldn't be where we are without him either. So, and you do see people come down from a top level and don't have the right mentality, and they don't play even at this level. So you've got to come here and respect the level and respect the quality, because if you don't, you either won't stay in the game or you'll be going even further down. So it's not a bad level. It's just you got to have the right mentality to say, this is where I'm at and going to give everything and hopefully stand out.
Yeah. What a great ambition that is, Tyler, because I remember the 72 promotion, which is Aldershot Town's, well, Aldershot as it was then, first ever promotion. 1972, we went up from the 4th division to the 3rd. And all of those, the whole squad were heroes. And I don't know if you were around, but there was a sort of a convention where they invited the old players back. And they're heroes here because, you know, the club hasn't had a great deal of success in terms of promotions. We had some great ups and, you know, played Man U and Carlisle, and biggest attendance ever, 19,000 here, 19,000 in this ground. Yeah, 19,000 against Carlisle in the FA Cup replay, 4th round.
Where were they watching, in the car park?
Oh, I was there, and it was like literally, you know, squashed. I was like a sardine. I could not move. My dad was with me, and it was like, stay there, son, you're okay. You know. So, you know, for you to be one of those, all of you to be one of those would be great.
I think that's one thing the gaffer reiterates, isn't it? We could be remembered here. Obviously, with the FA Cup run, I'd like to think we've made a good impression, but we could be remembered here for a very long time if we go on to achieve something this season. That's something that we all really want to push and strive for.
Yeah, definitely.
Tyler, just one final word on Josh's move. What level, you've seen him up close and personal, what level do you think he's going to go to, honestly, in the next few years?
That generally is down to him. Generally, it sounds stupid, but it generally is. Like there isn't a level for him right now. You can't put a level on him right this second, I don't believe. But if he goes into Bristol with the right mindset, the right mentality, I don't see why he can't break through there and become a key player for them. Scoring goals is a habit, no matter what level you're at. So he's done that last year at the level he's at. People probably thought you weren't going to do it at this level. Have you outscored yourself this season?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So there's no reason why he can't go to Bristol, and if he's got a good mind on him, and I'm sure he'll go there and smash it, and then you never know where you'll end up from there. But he's not the type to go there and be thinking of the next level. He's going, because that's the step up that he's taken. He's like, this is amazing, which is great. He won't take it for granted, and he won't be thinking about the next level. He'll be thinking about impressing there, whereas some people, like we said, drop. They're thinking about going back to the next level, and they're not thinking about performing at the level they're at. So, no, I'm not going to put a label on it and say this is where you're going to be at, because I don't think that would be fair. But as long as he goes there with the mindset he's had this season, anything can happen, mate.
He'll learn how to head a ball and then he'll be all right.
That was really nice of you. Thanks, mate.
Needed to get that in. Yeah, I'll send you the soundbite of that so you can play it yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, honestly, I do, yeah.
That's brilliant. And Dad, we'll just finish by, let's imagine shots go up this season and we're talking League Two. And obviously we've got Tyler here who's played at that level. Tyler, just tell us to finish, say the shots do go up, how big is that jump, do you think, for this group of players with the talent we've currently got? People always say, oh, you need to recruit for the next level. Do you think we could actually make a dent next year with the squad we have, having played there with a couple of clubs yourself?
Well, I think proof's in the pudding in terms of we've gone to 2 league clubs, 3 games, and if it was league, we've got 7 points against 2 of the top teams in that division. So I think obviously over the course of a whole season, it's completely different to those one-off big days. They're obviously special occasions as such, but there's no reason why this current squad, if we kept the same team next year, couldn't have competed in League Two this year. It'll be difficult. It is a hard league, very tough. The step up is big, but there's no reason why the squad this year couldn't compete next year. And also the staff have proven that their recruitment's not bad. So as a player that would still be here, there's no reason why you'd fear that it's going to be a struggling season next year if it was to happen, but we've got to get there first.
Yeah, it's been great, hasn't it, Dad? Just to catch up with these boys, hear their honesty and just their hearts for the club. Really encouraging.
Yeah, and we're really grateful for you giving time. And, we know you've got a busy week, 5 guys and all that sort of stuff. But we...
Who's eating 5 guys?
Don't tell anybody.
Secrets out there.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. But no, we are really grateful. And we're incredibly... I just want to say we're incredibly positive on the terraces. You know, people and in the stands, people around are saying this is the best season they can remember for a long, long time. We got to the playoffs in 2016 and again in 2017. Didn't make it. lost both times. But those were good seasons. This has been even better than that, just because of the excitement. So we just want to say thank you, and we'll love to catch up with you again when we win the playoff final.
Sounds like a good plan, to be fair.
Yes, it does sound like a good plan. Yeah.
Obviously, we just want to say we're very grateful to everyone around the club, to be honest, for the support and just like the good vibe, really.
Yeah, it's definitely it. We can feel that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as we take our time out now to spend with you guys, because we're grateful for the support. We want people to see more of us, and we just want to say, keep behind us, and hopefully it ends up in a really, really positive season.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, boys. Up the shots. Let's go. Okay, now we're going to do a lies challenge. We've got Josh Stokes, we've got Tyler Frost here. So what we're going to do is we're going to give them 30 seconds, and I'm going to say to them, how many things can you name, for example? And then these guys are going to say maybe 5, maybe 6. One of them is going to call each other a liar, and that person has to then try and say those amount of things in 30 seconds. We'll see who can actually do it and who's just talking a load of rubbish. So we're going to start with you, Josh. It's going to be how many National League teams do you think you can name in 30 seconds? Kick us off with how many?
I'd say 10.
Oh, that's quite a high. Okay.
That's high.
Can we get any advance
Yeah,
on
but he's
that?
a nerd.
Or are you going to call him a liar straight away?
No, I won't call it a lie straight away. 13.
Could you name 13?
I think I could
That's
name.
one every 2 seconds.
I think I could name more.
That's one in 30
So
seconds.
you just got boom. Yeah.
I mean, if you memorise the league table, you can do
Yeah,
it. So we're on 13. Any
I reckon
advance?
14.
It's the time, but I think I could do 15.
I think he could.
Yeah. It's not like that ain't
Can we
hard.
get
I could do
16? Or are you calling him out?
No, 16.
that. Go on then, just go on and see him do
Okay.
it now. I know I could do probably. I reckon I could do it more. Hang on, you got to wait.
Okay, right.
Let's
Are
go.
we-
Who's? I'll count, but
So,
someone
yeah,
else can
30
count.
seconds. National League teams. We need 16.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Go.
Barnet, Chesterfield, Bromley, Altrincham, Aldershot, Woking, Solihull.
Compose yourself.
Kidderminster, Oxford City, Hartlepool, Rochdale.
Need 4 more.
Dorking, York, Wheelstone. But
Tie.
someone name me one more, please.
Halifax.
Oh, stop.
I think I was 15
Yeah.
in my mind, but we'll see it back. Maybe he did get 16, but actually,
I think he did.
I think it
I
was
actually
15.
named one twice. I feel like you said Hartlepool twice. You said Gateshead.
Nah. Oh, Gateshead.
One short.
One short. Okay, Josh, that was a valiant effort.
Great effort.
It's 1-0
You should
now.
have started top of the league and worked your
I
way
did,
down.
but
He
I
did,
got
and then
to
he got-
I got.
Did you say Chesterfield?
Yeah, I got to Chesterfield.
Got to his head.
I did like 3 or 4, and then I was like, oh no. And then I went to the bottom, and I was trying to think of the middle, and I was like, who the hell's in the middle of the league?
Maidenhead.
One short, so that's 1-0 to you,
Yeah.
Frosty, alright?
Perfect. Cool like that.
Okay, on to the next topic we go. Things you'd find in a football changing room. How many in 30 seconds items can you name? We'll start with you. What's the benchmark?
Just anything.
Anything you would find in a football changing room.
Got to be 10.
15.
15. Wow.
Yeah, easy.
I'll go 16.
17.
Go on then.
Oh, do you know what I put? Or something?
You didn't get the last one.
That's right.
17. Just me eyes.
We'll make sure he does one
flustered.
next. But okay, so we're saying 17 things that you would find in a football changing room in 30 seconds.
Okay.
You think you can do
Yeah.
that? Okay,
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
go.
Players, managers, shorts, socks, t-shirts, shin pad covers, overwrap, sweets, fruit, water, fridge, showers, toilet,
14.
sink, hand dryer, bin,
17, you need one more.
hangers for the shirts.
Managers and players.
Come on, that's so good, mate.
That's terrible, man.
You got very kind of like
Yeah,
micro there with the over.
Over shin pad and shin
So
pad.
I could have carried on going, to be fair. Program, towel.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 18. Well done. So that's 1-1.
1-1.
Good. Well done, boys. Okay, bit harder this time. We're taking you outside of your comfort bubble of football.
could it be?
You have to name as many famous bands, famous music bands as you can in 30 seconds.
I'm in the mud here because he's
band?
got age on his
Any
side.
bands. Any, just not
anything,
a solo artist. Any band.
Any group,
Coldplay.
any group singing like
Any singing group. That are
Age
well
on.
known.
I'm good at this though.
Well, then you name your first number.
Yeah, what are you kicking us off with?
7.
10.
Go on then. I couldn't name 7 for the life of me.
Could you not?
No,
Yeah, I think I could
just
do
knew you
10.
had to go up.
Alright, the only rule with this is they have to be famous, so they have to be well known.
Oh, massive.
If I don't know them,
They can't just be
Any band from any age.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got this. I have to have this.
10 in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
But if I don't know, it don't count.
No, that's you're 12 years old.
Yeah,
now.
there's a bit of an age gap. Okay.
As long as these
Right.
guys know as well.
So how many did we say?
10.
10 in 30 seconds.
3, 2, 1, go.
One Direction, Little Mix, Westlife,
Oh.
Boyzone, Beatles, Oasis, U2.
Oh my god, you're stuck. Oh my god. You're in the mud. What about One Direction?
Coldplay.
Yeah.
He said them on his 4th one, I think.
You need 3 more at least.
What? No. Oh, you put me off
So
there.
don't let them get in your head. 3 more.
Beatles, maybe?
I said that. You're putting me off.
One Direction.
That's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Time.
Wow.
You did put me
Yeah,
off. I was like 8. But you said Beatles and that. Oh, mate, that was actually hard.
I think we'll do a half point each there. Because
No, he can have the point. I wouldn't
Oh,
have.
you
got
wouldn't
it.
have
I think I'd have got one more maybe.
I thought you actually could have said the Beatles, to be fair.
I did say Beatles.
Oh, really?
I said them.
Oh, that's my bad then, because I
Okay.
thought I was trying to help you.
So 3 rounds gone. 2, 1.
Yep.
We'll say this last round is worth double points, so Tyler, you've got a chance to win this. And this is an easy one. Premier League stadiums in 30 seconds.
Oh. Probably 12.
This is where you say you don't follow the Premier League, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
20 grand. You say 12?
Yeah.
I'll
lost his
do
confidence.
13.
You think you can name 13?
Yeah.
You only know Old Trafford.
What do you know then?
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I don't know the names.
Well, you should call him a liar then, if you don't know the names.
No, but I think I could name.
So we're on 13 at the moment.
13, yeah.
Okay, are you matching, going higher?
I know he's good. That's the thing.
Right.
At this.
So do you want to go 14?
Can't even think of 14 teams.
What? Oh my.
I think you need to call him out there.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
You could name 14 Premier League teams.
I'm struggling.
In 30 seconds, goes
Yeah,
13.
this is hard. 13 is a lot.
13 in 30
I don't
seconds.
think I'll be able to do 13.
So
It's
take-
one every
take
2
away.
seconds, isn't it? If my maths is right.
Got to just start at the top, work my way down, and hope for the best.
So Tyler, if you get this, you win, because you get double points.
This is gonna
If
be
you
close,
fail,
it's gonna be
Josh
I'm going to be
wins.
tight here.
All right,
I don't think I'll-
let's go.
Okay.
Don't even think.
13 in 30,
3, 2, 1.
go for it.
So we've got Anfield, Old Trafford, Emirates, Stamford Bridge, Etihad, Villa Park, Goodison Park, Molineux,
Yeah.
That's 8.
hang on, yeah. How long have we got?
5.
Oh, the brain goes blank.
Probably
Time.
Probably best not to ask how long you've got left. That just completely
Brain goes blank.
You're in the mud once you're asking how long. And there's only 5 seconds.
So I see you. Do you start working your way down there?
Yeah, I did the same thing, got lost in the middle.
I know.
The only one I would have named all of them is the National League, and you nicked that.
You should have said the
Kenilworth
Tottenham
Road.
Hotspur Stadium.
It's not
Bramble
called that,
Lane.
is
It is
It's called the
called
White Hart Lane.
Craven
No.
Cottage.
But they changed that.
Yeah, it's
And it's
called
now
Tottenham
Hotspur
Hotspur
Stadium.
It's that middle pack.
Craven Cottage.
What's Palace's again?
Selhurst
Selhurst.
Park.
Yeah, I was thinking of Palace, and that's
And then you've got Bramble Lane at the bottom, Kenilworth Road.
yeah,
Luton.
Amex, Brighton.
Amex, yeah.
You forget the teams in the middle pack. I was thinking of bottom and top. I bloody went
Wow.
to Kenilworth Road bloody like 4 times this season.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's unfortunate, mate.
Yeah, the results are in.
That's a hard
The
game.
future football manager with the football brain
Yeah.
finishes with 1.
But I'm a National League level.
Yeah, that's true. And Josh, 3-1 to you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're the winner. What have you got to say to
Well,
Frosty?
really, we didn't win either. We got
Do his
most
work,
of them
really.
wrong.
What do
He
you
was
mean?
very confident on his, and then it does,
Yeah,
it does
I
get
know.
you, doesn't it?
It gets
It
you.
gets
does get
I've done change your room. Right.
Mhm.
So
You said managing players. I think that's hard.
so let me ask you a question. Is there a manager in the change room?
If it's just a person.
Yes. Is there a
people-
player in the change room? Yes.
Can we say Kitman?
Yeah,
They could have done.
Oh, no way we're going for
Could have said
people.
Sam the media guy.
So we could have named 10 people in there.
No, okay, but if I
You
would
could have said Lauren, Stokesy.
no, but if I would have said people, yeah, then I still would have got it because I had towels. I still had so many in the bank.